All right, we're here to discuss standards 1, 2, and 3 lesson. I recorded it, uploaded it to YouTube, and Steve watched it and has some notes.
Yeah, hi Brett. So I was pretty impressed with what I saw. Let's just jump right into the first standard. Does the candidate use knowledge about the student's growth and development to design and implement developmentally appropriate and challenging learning experiences? I think he did really well here. The class rules were set out. You had a good introduction to showing the date. You had good attention for all the students. So I would give you a proficient on that of the grades. Outstanding, and you can always, I think there's always room for improvement there, but proficient, you did a great job.
Okay. Nice.
Standard 2. Does the candidate create a positive classroom climate by making students feel valued and show respect for each other? Yeah, this I have you down for outstanding. The students knew exactly like where to go when the lesson was going on. Like they knew, okay, first we're going to look at the whiteboard. The teacher, Mr. Bradley, is going to talk to us about what's expected of us. And then once we go into the Florida virtual program, we all move to a separate desk. He hands out our iPads, and we get set up. And the kids got set up really quickly. It was clean, very organized. So yeah, outstanding for that part.
Nice.
Yeah. And standard 3, does the candidate use knowledge of individual differences and diverse cultures to develop inclusive learning environments that support all students in meeting high standards? This is pretty interesting at our school because we have small class sizes. So being able to differentiate your learning isn't so much of a huge deal at our school, yet there are a few students that may need it. And I could tell Bradley was watching to see who was maybe lagging behind with the technology, or when he was reading to one of the students, when he was asking the students questions, he would read for one of them because the child has a little bit difficulty reading. So that was kind of a way he was helping him out. The other 4 were pretty good and they could do it on their own. So yeah, he supported the student in that way. And I gave him a proficient on that one. And again, there's other ways that you could go about that. Maybe student centered. You could have one of the students ask that student some questions, or vice versa, to get them a little bit more interested and engaged.
Yeah, it seems like you said, we do have small class sizes here, but even regardless of that, it always seems like there's always 1 or 2 students in every class that you have to account for, even if that student might be at their appropriate level. I just feel like the dynamics between them, that 1 student always seems to need that extra help.
Yeah, I mean, I have it in my class as well. And it's really interesting once the kids understand their own abilities and they're so patient with each other. They can be helpful to you and to the other students that need it. Proficient on that. The next one is, does the candidate create environments that support individual and collaborative learning, positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self-motivation? It was pretty obvious that the kids are motivated just by the way they started the lesson. They're ready, they're engaged. When it was time to move on to the next table and learn via the technology instead of the old school method, they were ready to go. It proves that they're in charge and they're taking action in their education. And I think what I said earlier about collaborative learning, maybe just you could just have the students work with each other a little bit more, give them a little bit of maybe 2 or 3 to 5 minutes of discussion-based education amongst themselves. That'll really help and make them feel comfortable, even the local learners. So I gave you an understanding on that area. I thought it was very, very easy to see that the kids were ready and engaged.
Cool. Yeah, with that, because my first year of grade 2, usually grade 1 kindergarten, I think that maybe at this age that they could do student-centered self-discussion or doing like a student discussion, teacher-led somehow. So that's something that I've really never done before and that I've been into doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they are young, so it's difficult at this age to get them to do it all on their own. Okay, and I think it's the last. Yeah. Does the candidate create environments that are student-centered rather than teacher-centered? Do the students have the opportunity to make choices or take responsibility of their own learning? So yeah, we touched on this a little bit. Again, it's quite a young age for the students to be able to do this consistently on their own. I would maybe block out a time each day at the end of the day where you could explain the importance of this to them. Just have a more general discussion at the end of the day about what you've learned that day. See if they can create their own discussion.
Yeah, I actually don't. Like I said, I haven't incorporated it in lessons, but I do have like open discussion time. Like every Monday, the kids come up first thing in the morning, talk about what they did on the weekend to practice talking in the past. And every Friday, they talk about what they will do. So, I mean, I could work that into a lesson towards the content instead of just open-ended. It's a good idea.
Yeah, just a few more things that I noticed. Maybe I'll do that for the last one. So I gave you proficient on that one. The last one, managing the learning environment norms and procedures. Does the candidate have established norms and procedures that lead to engage students, maximum time on task, and local management of classroom space? This again, from what I saw, was excellent. I really like the iPad rules, not allowing the students to just have free reign to use them whenever they want. It's so easy for kids to just get addicted and get off task. But if they know that, okay, at this time, when Mr. Bradley pulls out the box, we can get them and we're focused on learning what we need to learn. Yeah, when did you do that? When did you start that process?
Yeah, this is our first week using the computers. And before they brought them in, I think there's pressure at home from the parents for them and as well as me. That if they bring them to school, that they're just pretty much a book. It's not for YouTube or whatever, because they can find themselves in weird places and do strange things on there that I don't have to deal with.
Yeah. And when it was time to go back to where you wanted to explain stuff on the whiteboard, you said, okay, then we're going to turn off your iPads. They did it, gave you back. It's like a routine. It's amazing. You've only started here in a week, and they seem to, it's like they've been doing it for a lot longer than that. So it's good to see. Yeah, I gave outstanding marks on that. And so now we'll go down to feedback. So yeah, what went well? Right from the beginning, I noticed you started out by giving rewards to students. I'm not sure if that was from the day before, but it was just good to get the kids to see. I think they're putting stickers on the check.
Yeah, they still get into that at this age. I don't know how much longer, but they're still motivated by stars and stickers, and that's super helpful for me.
Okay. And again, just a clean environment, good workspace. I really like the coronavirus song. It's a big issue we're dealing with right now. It's great for the kids to get to learn how to wash their hands and not touch each other, and fun song. Good. What needs to be improved? Just two things. I think when you're first starting the lesson, before you go to the TV and the technology part, maybe introduce, have a little hook for the English lesson or whatever lesson you're going to start. on the whiteboard, something to make them get intrigued by what you're about to teach them.
Set the scene.
Set the scene, yeah. And in the future, yeah, just try to have some more student-centered activities where they can ask each other questions. And then comments on reflection.
You might not have read my reflection, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll read the reflection and get back to you on that one. All right, cool. But yeah, overall, I think it was great. Bradley included all students and they all participated. He was attentive to all students and nobody was left behind. All in all, very good.
Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it.
Thank you.